Welcome folks to the weekly analysis video for gold. Last week I mentioned that this volume was very thin and we would most likely go back down to take out those lows and potentially get back down lower to 2600, which we've done. And I also mentioned that the draw would be to take out these equal highs at 2674. Okay, so the market has gone down and taken out all these lows and come into that 2600 big figure. Okay, didn't quite get down as low as 2600, but pretty close. Okay, and now we're headed up to take out these equal highs. Okay, so if we look at the midpoint of this wick, we can notice that the market has come straight into that midpoint from where it has found some support, which is expected because that is discount pricing. And now the market is headed to premium. And ultimately, at a minimum, I do believe it will take out these highs. Okay, so that 2674 is my potential expectation for the next draw on liquidity, and most likely we will take out this high as well, 2684. Now that is not a trade recommendation. We're learning about how price is delivered from discount, okay, to premium, and then from premium back to discount. So if we look at a few days prior to the most recent move, the market came into discount here, okay, and then moved up to premium, which was the rejection block on this daily chart. Okay, from premium it then went back down to discount, which is this fair value gap, and now I'm expecting price to redeliver to a premium, which would be perhaps above these equal highs, okay, 2674, or higher into the all-time highs. That's what we're learning about on this channel. Okay, so this is not a trade recommendation. Now I also want to bring to your attention the fair value gap that has been created. Okay, I've marked that out incorrectly. The one I want to put your attention to is this one here. Okay, so right now the market is out of balance, okay, because we have this potential gap. Okay, so we need some level of a pullback, and it would be good to see that come into the bottom fair value gap so that we can potentially treat that as an inversion fair value gap. So the market could come back down into this level where this fair value gap was created on the way down. Okay, this fair value gap here. And so from there, we could expect some repricing higher and use that fair value gap as an inversion fair value gap. Okay. Now, what I want you to see here is that the market created that fair value gap on the way down as a manipulation fair value gap, because there would have been a lot of traders who would have been looking to short from that level, and most likely did, and were obviously stopped out. Okay, that's where order flow is important. Okay, because we can see higher time frame order flow is bullish. Okay, and this is essentially a pullback into this discount, okay, which is that fair value gap for continuation. And so therefore, if you are looking at that market and you see this fair value gap on the way down, you should not be looking to short from there, okay, because of this higher time frame bullish order flow that is more visible on the weekly chart. Okay, so I just want to point that out. Now, I did say in my last video to look out for the 4-hourly fair value gap. So if I jump down to a 4-hourly fair value gap, okay, the one that I wanted you all to pay attention to was the one that was holding the week prior, and that was this particular fair value gap. And I pointed out in my last analysis video that body candles were contained within that fair value gap, and I said what I don't want to see, or the line in the sand, would be if we start to get body closures below that fair value gap. And we can see that last week we started to see that. We started to see that the market, oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a square, that the market closed below that fair value gap, and that was kind of my line in the sand. Okay, and then we had the move down. Okay, so that was what I had mentioned in my last video. Okay, posted last week, you can go back and watch it. This week I think that obviously we do have bullish order flow, okay, as I've pointed out on the daily chart. Strong reaction from that fair value gap. Okay, so order flow is bullish, and I'm expecting that these equal highs will now be taken. Let's take a look at a weekly chart. Okay, so we can see immediate rebalance, right? So we've dropped down into the fair value gap on a weekly basis, which is discount pricing, and immediately rejected that level. Okay, you can see we have equal highs, right, relative equal highs on the left, and I do believe we'll draw on liquidity. Okay, so we just need to monitor the market. Now for VIP, we were long from Thursday. Okay, so we essentially identified the move down as a dump, right? And then we identified this consolidation. Okay, and then basically on Thursday, we had news which took out all of this sell side liquidity, establishing a new low for the month of October. Also at that point, we've taken out current weekly lows. Okay, so that's an important level. And we've seen rejection, right? So we've seen immediate rejection. So VIP were long from this level. Okay. That was a New York trade, and I have done an execution video on there, posted on my YouTube. Okay, minimum target set for VIP was 2640, big figure. Okay, and then we also had setups along the way. So the next setup was then here on Friday. So this here was Thursday. Okay, where we had the, I think that was CPI news, and Friday was continuation from New York. Okay, at that level there, up to the target, which was Monday's high. Okay, and that was essentially back up to the high of the week. Okay, so VIP was able to capture majority of this move. Okay, multiple targets were provided. 2640, okay, was the minimum target, and that was over 250 pips. Sorry, over 200 pips. Okay, ultimate target was above the high of the week, which we just tapped into. Okay, this here is the high of Monday, and the next target from 2640 was also the high of Friday. I'm pretty sure that was Friday, right there. Let me just double check. So yes, no, that was the high of Tuesday last week, and then the high of the week was here at 2660. Okay, so they were the targets provided in the VIP group. There was a nice trade all the way back up from the low of the week. Okay, so this is the low of the week to the high of the week. Okay, 400 pip move. So now coming up for next week, as I said, I'm looking for, let me jump to a 4-hourly chart. Okay, I'm looking for, again, this is not a trade recommendation. Okay, you're learning about price action here on this channel. I'm looking for the equal highs. Whoops, that's pretty big. Let me just make that smaller. Okay, I'm looking for the equal highs to be taken out. Okay, up here, 2674. As mentioned last week, that's kind of the draw in liquidity, so we're on our way up to that. Okay, and what I want to see is a pullback sometime early next week for a long to take out these highs. Okay, and I want to see that pullback come into this fair value gap. Now we may not get that. Okay, right now we're at premium pricing, so early next week we could just continue going up through these relative equal highs. But what I want to see is a decent pullback. Okay, for a setup to go long. Okay, and I want to see that form somewhere around this fair value gap on this 4-hourly chart at around 2630. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Again, that's not a trade recommendation. That is for you to monitor the charts and learn about how price behaves. Okay, so I want to see some level of manipulation going down early next week. Okay, and I want to see us come into that level. Okay, because I need discount pricing, right? I'm not willing to take any long positions above that, right? So I want to see a move into there, preferably coming into that down candle, which is our current bullish order block. Okay, anything above that in my view is not discount pricing, and I don't want to be a buyer at premium pricing. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for next week. I'm looking for continuation longs up to 2674 minimum for me, and then I need to assess to see if we are in fact going to take out the ultimate highs. Okay, and we just need to monitor price, see what the market offers us in terms of discount pricing to take any long positions. Obviously, I can be wrong. Okay, market can reverse at any time. Okay, so we may simply just make a little bit of a move up, and these highs remain intact, and we could immediately reverse. So we always need to manage our risk and keep that possibility in the back of our minds. Although our assessment is that current order flow on the higher time frame is bullish, and therefore I'm going to be looking for setups in alignment with my current higher time frame directional bias. I hope the video is useful. I will now talk with you in a future video.